changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
G20 नए विचारों की परिकल्पना के लिए और सामूहिक एक्शन को गति देने के लिए एक ग्लोबल प्राइम मूवर की तरह काम करें। वैश्विक विकास महिलाओं की भागीदारी के बिना संभव नहीं है। भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता की थीम वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर में पूर्ण रूप से समाहित है।
Welcome, you're watching India at G20. It will be a news-packed show today with updates on 4 meetings on energy transition, employment, tourism and one of Science 20. All that and more over the next 30 minutes. I'm Mudman Bhattacharya. First up, the top stories. Second Employment Working Group meeting kicks off in Guwahati. 3-day meeting is taking forward progress in the first meeting on the 3 priority areas of global skill gaps, gig and platform economy, and social protection and sustainable financing of social security. Second Energy Transitions Working Group meeting concludes in Gandhinagar. Proposed Global Biofuels Alliance receives wide-ranging support from member countries. Delegates discuss low-cost financing for energy transition, agree to continue to focus on deploying clean and mature technologies. Delegates attending the second working group meeting in Darjeeling of tourism get a taste of vintage experience with the world-famous Darjeeling Himalayan Railways, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Delegates take a toy train ride from Ghoom, India's highest railway station, through Batasia Loop to Darjeeling Station. 2-day Science 20 conference begins in Tripura's capital, Agartala. Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Ajay Sood, gives a call for action for a clean future. Conference is focusing on green hydrogen, ocean-based technologies and new generation energy storage. Delegates attending the second Tourism Working Group meeting got a taste of vintage experience today with the world-famous Darjeeling Himalayan Railways. They also witnessed the Ghoom Railway Museum, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The toy train was right on track to give everyone a nostalgic ride and unforgettable memories. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo caught up with the ambassadors of G20 countries on board the toy train from Ghoom to Darjeeling. These diplomats are attending the second Tourism Working Group meeting in Siliguri.
We are going to the Queen of Hills, yes, Darjeeling. From Batasia to Darjeeling, this is the toy train which is also there in the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. It's the World Heritage Property, and we are so fortunate to be on this train, and on board are the foreign delegates. They are the ambassadors and the high commissioners. They all have come to attend the G20 second meeting of the tourism group. So let's talk to them and find out about their unique experience. So first starting off with the ambassador of Mexico. Sir, what is your experience, especially about this train?
Well, I love being in this train. You know, this I think it's probably the only World Heritage site that you can actually sit on and move with. So it's very exciting to be here. I'm very happy. It's a fun train, absolutely. Very excited.
He's so very excited. Let me talk to the ambassador from the High Commissioner from Australia, and he is with his wife. So let's talk to the High Commissioner first. The Britishers made it, and now the Australian High Commissioner is here. How's the experience?
And the Indians have perfected it. Who doesn't love a steam train ride? Add mountains, add Darjeeling, and where else in the world would you like to be?
So is it the first time that you are here and you have boarded the train?
I visited Goom in October, November last year, and all I could see was mist. So it's great to be here this time, seeing the magnificent sights from this railway.
And you are also accompanied by your wife. So, ma'am, how's the experience?
Excellent, thank you. I'm having a lovely time. It's beautiful. The train's fabulous. Loving it. Thank you.
So she is having a lovely time. We also have the tourism secretary. He is accompanying the foreign delegates. Sir, they are also very excited. So it gives us a feeling of quite proud.
No, definitely, because it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is an important landmark in this part of the world, where this was built hundreds of years ago and used by tourists. So to be able to showcase it to all the high commissioners and ambassadors who've come for the G20 meeting is a moment, and it's our privilege, and we're enjoying the the ride on the train.
So there you hear, it's a privilege and a moment of pride for all of us. Now we go to the ambassador of Japan. Sir, you are famous for building bullet trains, but this is something very different. So how's the experience?
Well, today my dream of 35 years have come true. My best friend has told me 35 years ago, Hiroshi, you've got to ride on this. And this is such a wonderful experience. No wonder it's a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage. So we've been enjoying every moment of this.
We have the High Commissioner of Singapore. How's the experience?
Well, representing Team Singapore, we are delighted that in this working group, we are focusing on adventure tourism in India, and boy, did we get adventure. We are now on the historic UNESCO toy train, and the day before we were at the Gom Monastery and also the Triveni Sangam. So we are experiencing adventure tourism as its essence in Darjeeling. So very, very good. Thank you. Amazing.
So there you hear from all these people. They are from the different parts of the world, and they have all enjoyed the hospitality, the heritage, the culture, the history, and definitely the toy train is the joyride of Darjeeling. And all of you who are watching this story, you must also come and visit Darjeeling. With cameraman Shubham, this is Vishal Baristu for DD India, Darjeeling.
What a joyride that must have been. G20 delegates reached the Governor's house in Darjeeling that overlooks the mighty peaks of the Kanchenjunga, where they were warmly welcomed to experience a guided tour through Raj Bhavan. So in recent years, adventure tourism in India is gaining immense popularity among both domestic and international tourists. Therefore, the Ministry of Tourism and the Government of India is hosting a side event on adventure tourism as a vehicle for achieving sustainable development goals. Speaking exclusively to DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo at the second Tourism Working Group meeting in Siliguri, Gabriela Stowell, the Vice President of the Regional Development of Adventure Travel and Tourism, spoke on how collaboration can be the key catalyst in making India a top adventure tourism destination. Take a listen.
India aspires to be amongst the top 10 adventure tourist destination, but is it that easy? What are the challenges? I have with me Gabriela, who is the Vice President of Regional Development ATTA. Let's talk to her and find out. Gabriela, since you are the expert with regard to India, is it possible?
It is absolutely possible. I think the steps that need to be taken are steps of collaboration. I think that everybody has a different role. The government has a role, the standard organizations, the associations, and the private sector really need to collaborate and work together to really grow in a sustainable way and take the right steps to make the product right, of structure, safety, education. All of those elements are necessary, but India has a tremendous potential with natural resources, incredible culture. The product is there. It just needs to be developed with care, and so also taking the right steps. Don't rush it too much, because you can also, we can love a destination to death.
Are you saying that we need proper packaging?
Yes, you need to take the steps of, and you are taking it. I heard today on this event all about the standards and the education goals and the marketing and the collaboration. So take that step slowly to really develop it sustainable, because otherwise, there are destinations that have over tourism, and you lose the natural resources, you lose the communities. You don't want to do that. So take the slow steps and work.
How many places have you visited India, and what about Darjeeling?
This is my first time here. This is my third time in India. I came to a different, we did an event in 2018 in Madhya Pradesh, right? So I went to Bhopal, I went to Uttarakhand too, and did rafting the Ganges. I absolutely love India, and Darjeeling has been very special to me since I got here. I just love the lush, of course the tea, the temperature is lovely, the village, the culture that I've seen. Yes, last night just picking up tea with the ladies was very special. I want to see more. I'm coming for a short time, but I am in love.
We are celebrating that this is India's year, and India always says Atiti Devo Bhava. With cameraman Shubham in Siliguri, Darjeeling, this is Vishal Barrister for DD India.
The second employment working group meeting kicked off in Guwahati today, and G20 delegates were welcomed with aarti and traditional stole called Gamosa into the venue. The three-day meeting is taking forward the progress made in the first meeting on the three priority areas of global skill gaps, gig and platform economy, and social protection, as well as sustainable financing of social security. The meeting is a crucial step towards building consensus on the outcomes of the priority areas of the working group. The agenda of day one focused on collaboration with other working groups, Entrepreneurship Research Center on G20 economies, and presentation by engagement groups. The working group addresses issues related to labor and employment for a strong, sustainable, balanced and job-rich growth for all. DD India correspondent Nandita Dagar spoke to Aarti Ahuja, Secretary in the Labour and Employment Ministry in the Government of India. Aarti Ahuja is also the chair of the Employment Working Group. She explained how the working group is aiming to bring systemic and long-lasting reform concerning the emerging gig and platform economy, and aims to provide social security to workers in the gig and platform economy, besides taking up the issue of skilling. Take a listen.
What can we expect from our Labour Ministry's push? What will be the main agenda of the Labour Ministry in this employment working group at the G20, which India is hosting in Assam?
Thank you. In our employment working group, we are looking at bringing something to the table which is a systemic reform, which is long-lasting, and where India's presidency gets associated with something which is global in scale and which is long-lasting. So it's not a flash in the pan that we are looking at. We have identified three areas which are of concern to all G20 countries, and in fact they are of concern to all countries. First is the emerging gig and platform economy, which is creating a lot of jobs. A lot of people are coming in, but the arrangements are not formalized. How is it that we can start looking at giving them social security first? As you know, India's Social Security Code provides for giving them social security, has given a definition to gig and platform work. So we want to take it further. And many countries, in fact, all over the globe, and the G20 countries as well, are looking at it very seriously and have welcomed our initiative. Then we also have, we are looking at skills. All the countries are struggling.
Which is the pet project of Prime Minister Modi also.
Absolutely. Our Honorable PM has also stressed on that, and a lot of effort is being given to that. Again, we are looking at a systemic reform about how we can bring in a common language across the world. When we talk of a skill or a qualification, does it mean the same thing? So we are looking at a harmonized nomenclature, standardization, a reference that countries can refer to. So that is the second thing, which is again a systemic thing. And the third thing we are looking at is social security, social protection for everybody, but we are looking at how do we finance it. There can be different models depending on the context of each country. Is it through budgetary contribution? How much through contribution of the people themselves? So all those things each country is grappling with, and we're just going to discuss that.
DD India correspondent Nandita Dagar also spoke to B. Kalyan Chakravarti, Principal Secretary in the Assam government, on Assam's soft power, with Assam's culture, handlooms and heritage being promoted in front of G20 delegates. Take a listen.
Sir, today some of our delegates from G20 countries, they visited the Suwalkuchi village, which is actually famous, world famous for its handlooms and silks that they weave. So, sir, how was the experience and how is Assam showcasing its rich traditions, crafts, food to the G20 members?
So Assam has, is not just a place for biodiversity. It's a place where there is a tremendous amount of arts, crafts, culture, which is extremely vibrant and perhaps probably the bright spot of the country, which is and also a gateway to the Southeast Asian countries. We are very, very famous for the silks, and the world perhaps will, we are trying to showcase, the silks that we have, the golden thread that we call, and we are also the largest producer of textiles. And of
Manchester
silks, of the East. So it's a great opportunity for Assam to showcase this, and we took the opportunity to take them to the place where they are making this, and I hope that once they see this, they will know as to where these kind of garments come from. It will help not only in tourism in terms of integration. They'll also know the place of Assam. It is a place where the world wakes up to Assam tea.
Yes.
The world probably, many of them will come to see the rhino or the land of the lands of the Northeast. So I think it will be a great exposure to them, both in terms of arts, crafts, and also in terms of the biodiversity.
The second Energy Transitions Working Group meeting concluded in Gandhinagar today. The two-day meeting witnessed participation of over 100 delegates from G20 member countries, 10 special invitee countries and 14 international organizations. The proposed formation of Global Biofuels Alliance received wide-ranging support from member countries. Today, G20 delegates took discussions forward on the key issues of energy efficiency, accessibility and security. Detailed discussions took place with the aim of improving accessibility towards clean energy across the world. A dialogue started on the need for affordability and inclusivity in energy transition pathways. The event also explored thoughts on the role of diversified energy supply chains. An elaborate seminar was organized on the sidelines, which highlighted how enabling global transitions in energy can aid global sustainable cooling. A side event on diversifying renewables and critical minerals supply chains to advance energy transition also took place today. A key point of discussion was low-cost financing for energy transition, where member countries discussed about the important role of international financial structure. Member countries also reaffirmed their commitment to energy transition through addressing technology gaps, and there was broad consensus among them to align with other global organizations such as Clean Energy Ministerial, Mission Innovation and Research and Development 20 for clean energy to achieve tangible outcomes. Protecting intellectual property rights in the context of technology transfer was also emphasized, and it was agreed to continue with a focus on deployment of clean and mature technologies such as solar PV and offshore wind. Discussions during this meeting will now be taken forward in the third Energy Transitions Working Group meeting in Mumbai, and that is from 15th to 17th May. DD India correspondent Meghna Dev caught up with Alok Kumar, Secretary in the Ministry of Power in the Government of India. Mr. Kumar spoke on the need for low-cost financing and the need for skilling of manpower. Take a listen.
We are joined in by Chair of the Environment Transitions Working Group. Sir, thank you so much for talking to DD India. One of the most important areas is low-cost financing for this transition. Also, there is a demand for skilling people once this transition, we are into the phase of transition or once the transition is done. How is that being dealt with?
First, talking of skilling, there is an absolute consensus that as we implement energy transitions and there is a change of technologies for supply and consumption of energy, there will be need for redeployment of the manpower, and therefore both reskilling and upskilling will be required. So that is, and India I think already has a very robust skilling ecosystem, so that there is a consensus. And on the issue of low-cost financing, everybody is agreeing that we need to promote low-cost financing. One suggestion has come that every country needs to rationalize the subsidies. If we rationalize subsidies, the revenue which becomes available can be effectively utilized to promote clean technologies, green technologies for green growth. So as such, our national policy is also to have a better targeting of subsidies, so that subsidies are available only to needy people.
We are talking about technology gaps, bridging the technology gaps. Are we also showcasing India's progress in this field and other countries also putting it on the platform? Or are we also talking about tech transfers, collaborations with private partners?
See, the working group has identified 5 key technologies, mainly the carbon capture, utilization and storage, and alternative chemistry for battery storage, enhancing the efficiency of electrolyzers and efficiency of fuel cell. There were suggestions to include some more technologies for the biomass based energy production, especially 2G biogas and all. So the group has agreed to give a more focused attention to these technologies in terms of more coordinated research and development, and also for scaling up, because as we have seen in solar PV, scaling up in deployment brings down the cost very quickly, and that becomes affordable for the people.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Thank you. Okay.
Now, in fact, delegates have also visited Modhera village. It is India's first solar-powered village. We'll tell you later about that. And the 2-day Science 20 conference began at the Hapania International Fairground in Agartala, the capital of Tripura, today. More than 60 delegates are participating in the Science Conclave, which is titled Clean Energy for Greener Future, as part of the G20 meetings. Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Mr. Ajay Sood, in his introductory remarks gave a call for action, citing unprecedented global challenges which require immediate action in order to save the future. Mr. Sood said that 3 sub-themes that will be discussed in the conference are green hydrogen, that has been catching the attention of countries the world over, how ocean-based technologies can help mankind to harness vast amount of energy through tidal currents, and new generation energy storage, which tells that we need to think beyond lithium electrochemistry. India quoted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement that innovation is important not just for combating climate change but also for climate justice. It's time to say goodbye now. We leave you with glimpses of a memorable cultural event with Maruni dance, Kukri dance, Tappa dance and more, representing the various traditional forms spread across the region at Mall Road in the heart of Darjeeling city. Delegates who attended the G20 Second Tourism Working Group meeting enjoyed the event. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.
G20 नए विचारों की परिकल्पना के लिए और सामूहिक एक्शन को गति देने के लिए एक ग्लोबल प्राइम मूवर की तरह काम करें। वैश्विक विकास महिलाओं की भागीदारी के बिना संभव नहीं है। भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता की थीम वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर में पूर्ण रूप से समाहित है।
The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
नमस्कार। कर्नाटक का चुनाव इस बार बेहद ही दिलचस्प हो गया है क्योंकि इससे पहले